As the daylight fades and the world gradually settles into its evening hush, a unique opportunity presents itself. An invitation to set aside the day's endless demands, the relentless pursuit of tasks, and the constant striving that often defines our waking hours. Think for a moment about the rhythm of your own life, the persistent hum of effort, the feeling that every gain, every step forward, must be earned through ceaseless activity. It's a common narrative, isn't it? The belief that progress is directly proportional to our visible exertion, our palpable toil. But what if there was another dimension to growth, a subtle, often overlooked energy that operates most profoundly when we ourselves are at rest? This evening, as you prepare to drift into the quiet embrace of the night, we're going to explore precisely that possibility. Forget, for a brief while, the conventional wisdom that ties every success to overt action. Instead, allow your mind to journey with me to a space where prosperity isn't a byproduct of frantic effort, but perhaps a natural, even inevitable, unfolding under different auspices. We often associate achievement with the glaring sun, with the heat of midday ambition, but there are whispers, ancient echoes, that speak of a different kind of blessing, a gentle augmentation that blossoms in the cool, silent hours. Tonight's story is designed not merely to lull you into sleep, but to awaken a dormant understanding within you, a sense that some of life's most profound transformations, some of its most generous harvests, occur in quietude, when the conscious mind steps back and allows other forces to work. It's a journey into the realm where intuition meets intention, where ancient wisdom mingles with the very real dynamics of abundance. We'll delve into beliefs held by civilizations long past, cultures that understood the night sky not as a void of inactivity, but as a vibrant canvas where unseen processes were at play, silently nurturing the seeds of tomorrow's bounty. Many throughout history intuitively grasped that the celestial dance overhead wasn't just a spectacle, but an active participant in earthly affairs, particularly in matters of sustenance and flourishing. They recognized the potent, benevolent energy that cast its soft glow over their fields, their homes, and their endeavors while they slept. This isn't about magical thinking in a simplistic sense, but about rediscovering a holistic view of prosperity, one that honors cycles, stillness, and the profound, often invisible, movements that underpin growth. It's about understanding that not all work is visible and not all progress is loud. So, lean back, settle in, and allow the weight of the day to dissipate. This is your invitation to a unique experience, an adult bedtime story that aims to relax your body while gently stimulating your mind, inviting reflection on what true abundance might encompass. You'll discover how different people perceive the moon's silent influence, how they saw it as a guardian of germination, a bestower of unseen blessings. It's a narrative woven with threads of mythology and the practicalities of ancient economies, crafted to flow like moonlight itself, serene, illuminating, and deeply comforting. By staying with this narrative until its natural conclusion, you won't just find a peaceful descent into sleep. You'll carry with you a new perspective, a gentle shift in how you perceive the genesis of wealth and well-being. It's a quiet revelation, hinting that perhaps the most profound forms of prosperity aren't forged in the heat of conscious struggle, but cultivated in the fertile silence of the night, growing steadily, assuredly, even when you aren't actively watching. Allow this thought to settle, and let us begin our journey into the moonlit wisdom of silent growth. As the world outside quiets and the soft luminescence spills across the landscape, it's worth pondering how different civilizations attuned themselves to this celestial rhythm. Consider, for instance, the intricate worldview of the ancient Aztecs. For them, the moon, often personified as Metzli, was not merely a distant orb, but a powerful deity intimately connected to water, fertility, and the very lifeblood of their society, maize. They understood that while the sun provided the vital energy for photosynthesis, the cool, moist nights, imbued with lunar energy, were equally crucial for the silent, subterranean work of germination and root development. The transformation of a tiny seed into a nourishing stalk was a profound mystery, largely unfolding beneath the earth and under the watchful, gentle eye of the moon, a process of invisible labor that promised future sustenance. This wasn't about visible toil, but about trusting a deeper, unseen generative force. Venturing across continents, a distinct yet resonant understanding permeated Celtic traditions. For them, the moon held sway over the tides, yes, but also over the elusive currents of intuition and the deep wellsprings of wisdom. Lunar cycles dictated not only agricultural rhythms, the optimal times for planting and harvesting, but also guided spiritual practices and fostered a profound connection to the natural world's hidden energies. Prosperity, in the Celtic sense, extended beyond material wealth. It encompassed a rich spiritual life, a harmonious existence with nature, and an acute intuitive sense that guided communal decisions. The moon, in its nightly journey, was seen as a silent oracle, encouraging inward reflection and revealing truths that the harsh glare day often obscured, thus fostering a different kind of wealth, rooted in clarity and spiritual alignment. Further east, within the vast tapestry of Hindu cosmology, the moon Chandra is revered not just as a celestial body, but as a potent deity influencing emotions, the mind, and the very flow of our inner consciousness. While not directly linked to specific crops in the same way as the Aztecs, the lunar influence on one's psychological state and intuitive faculties was considered paramount. A calm, balanced mind, nurtured by the subtle energies of Chandra, was believed to be more attuned to opportunities, better equipped to make sagacious decisions, and ultimately, more receptive to abundance in all its forms. This suggests that prosperity isn't solely about external actions, but also about cultivating an internal landscape, a mental and emotional fertility that, like a well-tended garden, flourishes under serene, gentle influences, often nurtured during periods of repose. What unites these diverse perspectives is a shared acknowledgement of a powerful, yet understated, influence that operates most effectively in the quiet hours. These cultures intuitively grasp that true growth, whether a crop, an insight, or a financial endeavor, isn't always a direct consequence of relentless, conscious effort. Instead, they recognize that certain essential transformations transpire in the background, in the stillness, under the benevolent gaze of the night sky. It's a profound thought. Perhaps the most significant aspects of our prosperity are cultivated not in the clamor of our waking hours, but in the receptive silence of our deepest rest. This silent cultivation is akin to the deep, unseen work our subconscious performs while we sleep. Imagine your mind as a vast, fertile field. During the day, you sow seeds of information, ideas, and experiences. But it is in the tranquil expanse of night, under the symbolic moonlight, that these seeds truly begin their mysterious process of germination, networking, and integration. Solutions to problems might emerge, complex thoughts simplify, and creative breakthroughs often surface after a period of rest. This internal harvest of clarity and renewed perspective, cultivated away from direct scrutiny, often paves the way for tangible successes in our waking lives, demonstrating that genuine advancement isn't always about direct intervention, but about allowing space for unseen processes to unfold. Consider the moon's consistent, predictable phases, waxing, full, waning, new. This cyclical nature inherently teaches patience and trust in natural rhythms. It reminds us that growth is not linear, nor is it perpetual motion. It involves periods of intense expansion, followed by quiet integration, and then a renewed beginning. Just as the moon meticulously cycles through its luminous journey, so too does our capacity for prosperity ebb and flow, silently regenerating and preparing for its next phase of manifestation, often unbeknownst to our conscious striving. This ongoing, hidden work, much like the gentle pull of the tides, orchestrates profound changes that shape our tomorrow, even as we surrender to the tranquil embrace of tonight. Now, consider a distinctive quality of moonlight itself: its inherent gentleness, its indirect nature. Unlike the sun's assertive blaze, which demands attention and fuels vigorous activity, the moon offers a softened, reflective glow. This very characteristic serves as a powerful metaphor for a particular vein of prosperity, one that doesn't demand arduous struggle, but instead unfolds through receptive presence. It suggests that some of life's most valuable augmentations aren't born from forceful exertion, but rather from a subtle cultivation, a quiet unfolding that occurs in the background, away from the demanding scrutiny of daylight. This notion invites us to contemplate the profound power of underlying currents. Just as unseen gravitational forces govern the vast cosmic dance, there exist subtle energetic matrices within our own world, and indeed within our personal endeavors, that operate independently of our conscious micromanagement. When we attune ourselves to this more expansive view, We begin to perceive prosperity not merely as a direct outcome of sweat and strain, but as the blossoming result of conditions we foster, much like a gardener who prepares the soil, sows the seeds, and then trusts the earth's innate vitality to do its work. This isn't about magical thinking, but about acknowledging the intricate, often invisible, web of interconnectedness that underpins all growth. Think about the subtle but relentless process of accretion. A pearl forms not through violent force, but through the patient, layer-by-layer deposition of nacre around a tiny irritant. This quiet, enduring process, occurring deep within a mollusk, transforms a minor disturbance into an object of exquisite value. Similarly, true, lasting wealth often accumulates through a series of inconspicuous yet consistent contributions, through seemingly minor adjustments, or through the quiet compounding of wise choices made over time. These are the elements that build a robust foundation, far from the spotlight, yet undeniably potent in their long-term impact. What if our energetic investments, our focused intentions during waking hours, could be thought of as seeds planted, then nurtured by an unseen nocturnal mechanism? When we release the need to constantly control outcomes, allowing space for what might be called universal intelligence or the flow of synchronicity to intercede, surprising alignments can occur. Opportunities that seemed absent in the stark light of day might reveal themselves in the gentler illumination of quiet contemplation, or even through serendipitous encounters that arise when our minds are less rigid, less constrained by rigid expectations. This is a crucial distinction, not simply resting, but actively allowing. Furthermore, consider the principle of reflective light. The moon doesn't generate its own brilliance. It mirrors the sun's vast energy. In a similar vein, our individual prosperity might, at times, function as a reflection of universal abundance when we align ourselves with a receptive, non-resistant state. It suggests that rather than solely creating wealth through sheer force of will, we can also attract and mirror by cultivating an inner environment that resonates with prosperity. This involves profound trust in the timing and unfolding of events, a willingness to step back and observe the currents, rather than perpetually trying to swim against them. This perspective shifts our understanding of agency. It doesn't diminish the importance of action, but recontextualizes it within a larger system. When you prepare for your day, setting your intentions, making your plans, then consciously release the frantic need to control every variable as night falls, you essentially open a channel for these subtle, generative forces. It's akin to the unseen metabolic processes that restore your body and mind during sleep. They are essential for your daily functioning, yet they occur without your conscious direction. They simply are. And in this quiet acceptance, this trust in the deeper mechanisms, we often find that the very prosperity we seek begins to flourish, nurtured by the silent vigil of the night, growing steadily and surely, even when our conscious attention is elsewhere. This is a profound wisdom offered by the moon's quiet glow, a wisdom often overlooked in our day-driven world. It's an invitation to recognize the unseen architects of our abundance, working diligently beyond the veil of our immediate perception. Building upon this understanding of subtle influence, consider now the profound shift in perspective that the night itself naturally imparts. When the insistent directional glare of the sun recedes and the world is softened by twilight's embrace, our vision quite literally expands to encompass what was previously obscured. It's akin to an astronomer awaiting nightfall to glimpse distant galaxies. The very absence of blinding light allows for perception of fainter, yet equally significant luminosities. This nocturnal vantage point frequently reveals hidden contours of opportunity, highlights overlooked resources, or clarifies the true value of elements dismissed during the day's hurried pace. Consequently, this period of diminished external stimuli often ushers in an invaluable space for internal reevaluation. Think for a moment about your own experiences. How often have solutions to perplexing problems, or innovative approaches to seemingly intractable challenges, presented themselves not during frantic brainstorming sessions, but in the quietude of a walk beneath the stars, or upon waking from a deep slumber? This phenomenon points to the night's unique capacity to foster integrative thinking, allowing disparate pieces of information to coalesce into coherent insights without the pressure of immediate action. It's during these hours that the raw data of your waking life begins to consolidate, forming stronger, more resilient mental structures that bolster your capacity for future success. Furthermore, a pivotal aspect of this nocturnal wisdom lies in its power to cultivate resilience. Prosperity isn't merely about accumulation. It's equally about the fortitude to weather inevitable challenges and the wisdom to adapt. The quiet steadfastness of the moon, navigating its predictable cycles regardless of earthly turmoil, offers a profound lesson in consistent, unwavering presence. This cosmic steadfastness mirrors an internal quality, an emotional and mental resilience that can be nurtured when we consciously choose to disengage from the day's relentless push. By allowing ourselves periods of genuine repose, we replenish our energetic reserves, building a psychological storehouse that enables more astute decision-making and a calmer navigation of complex situations when daylight returns. This leads us to recognize the strategic advantage of strategic dormancy. Just as certain seeds require a period of cold stratification before they can germinate, or complex ideas need time to marinate and mature away from constant scrutiny, there are phases in any prosperous endeavor where active pushing can be counterproductive. The night provides this necessary holding pattern, an incubation chamber where nascent projects, abstract intentions, or even financial investments can quietly gestate. It's during this unassuming interval that their foundations are often strengthened, their potential quietly amplified, preparing them for robust emergence when conditions are most favorable, rather than forcing them into premature exposure. Conversely, the relentless demand for constant visible output, often glorified in our bustling modern world, can inadvertently deplete both our personal resources and the intrinsic vitality of our ventures. By embracing the night as a period of active, yet unseen cultivation, we subtly reframe our relationship with effort and outcome. We learn to trust in the organic unfolding, much like observing a delicate bloom. You don't tug at its petals to make it open. You provide the right environment, and it unfurls in its own perfect timing. This surrender to natural rhythms, guided by the moon's silent example, is not about passivity, but about a deeper, more intelligent engagement with the forces that genuinely drive growth and enduring wealth. It's an embrace of profound, often quiet, wisdom that ensures prosperity doesn't just appear, but thoughtfully blossoms. Now, let's delve a little deeper into the intricate dance between observation and manifestation. There's a curious human tendency to incessantly monitor anything we're invested in, be it a simmering ambition or a nascent project. We often feel compelled to poke, prod, and reevaluate, convinced that constant vigilance is the only pathway to success. However, reflect for a moment on the delicate processes in nature. Does a seed sprout faster if you unearth it daily to check its progress? Does a carefully brewed concoction hasten its fermentation by constant stirring? Seldom is the answer affirmative. More often than not, such interference disrupts the very subtle biochemical magic at play, impeding its natural, unhurried unfolding. This speaks to a profound truth about growth. Some of its most crucial stages demand not intervention, but respectful, almost reverent, withdrawal of active scrutiny, allowing organic momentum to build quietly beneath the surface, shielded from our impatient gaze. Consequently, when we translate this principle to our own aspirations and ventures, we uncover a fascinating dynamic. Imagine you've meticulously planned a new business strategy, or perhaps sown the seeds of a new skill. The initial flurry of activity is vital, of course. Yet, after the foundational work is laid, a period of strategic non-engagement can be profoundly advantageous. This isn't about apathy or neglect. Rather, it's a conscious decision to trust the inherent intelligence of the process, allowing your subconscious mind, coupled with the myriad unseen variables of the world, to orchestrate alignments and synthesize solutions while your conscious attention is elsewhere. This quiet incubation phase often fosters the integration of complex ideas, leading to innovative breakthroughs that elude us when we're tightly gripping the reins, desperately trying to force an outcome. Beyond individual endeavors, consider the broader tapestry of systemic prosperity, where value compounds in remarkably subtle ways. We commonly associate compounding with financial investments, the exponential growth of interest on interest. Yet, this potent principle extends far beyond mere capital. Think of reputation. For instance, it isn't built through a single grand gesture, but through a consistent, almost imperceptible accumulation of trustworthy interactions, small acts of integrity, and reliable performance over time. Each positive encounter, though seemingly minor, adds to an invisible reservoir of goodwill, which then, without direct solicitation, attracts opportunities, fosters alliances, and generates trust, all forms of silent wealth that manifest unexpectedly. Similarly, deep expertise often stems from years of quiet, incremental learning and practice, eventually culminating in an intuitive mastery that operates with an almost effortless grace, yielding profound results without visible strain. Furthermore, the very act of creating negative space, of consciously stepping back and not filling every moment with overt action, can paradoxically become a powerful catalyst for growth. Much like a sculptor who understands the importance of the empty space around a form, recognizing that it defines and enhances the art itself, so too does a period of quietude refine and empower our pursuits. This strategic pause allows for energetic recalibration, for intuitive pathways to clear, and for serendipitous connections to emerge from the background. It's about designing systems, whether for personal development or for a larger enterprise, that are robust enough to foster autonomous growth, reducing the need for constant reactive intervention. This allows for a kind of set-it-and-forget-it brilliance, where the foundational structure, once thoughtfully established, continues to generate value and expansion through its own inherent momentum, much like a well-designed ecosystem thriving without constant human meddling. The lesson here is not to abandon effort, but to recalibrate our understanding of effective effort. It's an invitation to discern when our active engagement is truly productive, and when a more passive, receptive stance allows deeper, more profound forces to take hold. Imagine a sturdy oak tree. Its visible growth, the spreading branches and lush foliage, is undeniable. Yet, the vast, intricate network of its roots, tirelessly working beneath the earth, silently anchoring, absorbing, and strengthening the entire organism, represents a true engine of its enduring vitality. This subterranean labor is unseen, often unacknowledged, but utterly indispensable. Embracing this perspective, that significant portions of our prosperity are cultivated in the unseen, the unheard, the unhurried, can fundamentally transform our relationship with achievement, fostering a sense of calm confidence that truly valuable growth is indeed occurring steadily and surely, even when the world is fast asleep. Moreover, a distinct understanding of prosperity arises when we consider the often underestimated power of genuine repose. Far from merely a cessation of effort, authentic rest functions as a sophisticated internal forge, where raw experiences and disparate information are meticulously refined into clarity and insight. Think of it not as inert downtime, but as an active, albeit silent, process of internal alchemy. This quietude allows your mind to organize, prioritize, and forge robust mental pathways, strengthening your innate capacity for discernment. It's during these tranquil hours that fragmented thoughts weave themselves into coherent strategies, and subtle connections become brilliantly illuminated, insights that invariably elude the hurried grasp of the waking mind. Building on this, consider the profound concept of inner capital, a reservoir of mental acuity, emotional balance, and intuitive wisdom that accumulates in the stillness. This isn't visible on a balance sheet, yet its value is incalculable. When you face complex decisions or navigate intricate situations, it is this cultivated inner capital that provides the steady hand, the clear perspective, and the innovative spark. A mind refreshed and harmonized in the quiet dark operates with precision and creativity that a fatigued, overstimulated mind simply cannot match. Consequently, actions taken from this place of centered clarity are often far more effective, leading to outcomes that seem to manifest with almost effortless grace, rather than requiring brute force. A critical aspect emerges when we view prosperity through the lens of magnetic attraction rather than relentless pursuit. When your internal landscape is calm and well-ordered, a distinct resonance is established. Much like the deep, silent currents of the ocean guiding vast migratory patterns without any surface disturbance, a tranquil inner state aligns you with opportune flows. Instead of actively chasing every potential gain, you develop an intuitive radar for where genuine value naturally resides and how it can be sustainably integrated into your life. This shift of paradigm from an aggressive hunt for resources to an intelligent receptivity, where opportunities seem to gravitate towards you because your inner state mirrors the very qualities you seek to attract. Furthermore, Consider the quiet cultivation of trust and reputation within broader networks. While direct engagement certainly plays a role, the most enduring forms of trust are often built not through overt declarations, but through consistent, unobserved integrity. It is the reliability, the quiet competence, and the genuine commitment displayed over countless ordinary moments, many of which are unseen by the recipient, that truly solidifies your standing. This forms an invisible web of goodwill, a silent currency that opens doors, garners support, and attracts collaboration without the need for constant, overt self-promotion. This unseen, deeply embedded value serves as a powerful, self-sustaining engine of influence and opportunity, humming along steadily behind the scenes. In essence, the message woven into these moonlit narratives is an invitation to redefine our understanding of productivity and success. It suggests that a significant portion of our material and spiritual flourishing isn't just permitted by quietude, but is actively generated within it. The richness that accrues when nobody is watching, the ripening of inner wisdom, the strengthening of quiet fortitude, the forging of unseen connections, constitute a bedrock of sustainable prosperity. This process encourages a powerful faith in the unobserved workings of the world, fostering a deeper, more abiding confidence that profound growth is indeed occurring steadily and assuredly beneath the surface of our awareness, ultimately manifesting in our lives as a more balanced, resonant, and effortlessly abundant existence. The celestial sentinel, quietly traversing the night sky, offers a compelling parable about the intrinsic value of processes operating beyond our immediate perception. Consider the vast, intricate web of ecological systems that thrive on Earth. A towering redwood forest, for instance, achieves its monumental stature not through frantic daily growth, but through centuries of sustained, often imperceptible, assimilation and expansion. Each season contributes its unique layer of cellular development, its quiet strengthening of roots and bark, all coalescing into an enduring marvel that stands firm against the elements. This monumental achievement is a testament to the power of continuous, unobserved progression, illustrating that some of life's most profound and resilient forms of prosperity unfold with a deliberate, unhurried pace, far removed from the clamor of human intervention. This extended metaphor applies directly to our personal and professional landscapes. When you entrust a nascent idea, a complex project, or even a deep-seated aspiration to quietude of incubation, you are, in essence, mimicking these grand natural cycles. You permit the various components, the raw data, the subtle intuitions, the half-formed concepts, to coalesce and integrate without the artificial pressure of instant results. Think of a master chef preparing a rich, complex sauce. The finest flavors emerge not from constant agitation, but from patient, low-heat simmering, allowing the ingredients to meld and deepen over time. This principle of patient maturation, often facilitated by periods of deliberate disengagement, significantly enhances the richness and robustness of the eventual outcome. It's an active choice to step back, enabling latent potentials to ripen fully and organically. Moreover, the moon's silent journey underscores the profound significance of unconscious influence in shaping our realities. While our conscious minds grapple with daily tasks and overt decision-making, our subconscious continuously processes an astounding volume of information, constructing narratives and subtly guiding our inclinations. During your hours of repose, this powerful subconscious engine doesn't cease its activity. Rather, it often shifts into a more expansive, less inhibited mode. It works diligently in the background, reinforcing intentions, filtering distractions, and even repatterning ingrained thought processes that might otherwise impede progress. This nocturnal recalibration of your internal compass can lead to spontaneous insights and a newfound clarity upon waking, directing you toward avenues of prosperity that were previously obscured by the noise of conscious striving. Consequently, fostering a deliberate practice of energetic conservation becomes paramount in a world that often rewards relentless visible output. There's a subtle wisdom in recognizing that continuous exertion can deplete the very fuel needed for potent, impactful action. Just as a battery recharges most effectively during periods of non-use, so too does your mental and emotional resilience replenish significantly in moments of quiet withdrawal. This conserved energy, rather than dissipating in fragmented, superficial efforts, accumulates into a concentrated force, enabling you to approach challenges with greater focus, sustain creativity, and a far more potent sense of purpose when you do choose to engage actively. It's about optimizing your internal resources, understanding that judicious rest is not a luxury, but strategic necessity for achieving long-term, sustainable abundance. Consider, too, the transformative power inherent in reducing resistance. When we constantly push, control, or anxiously monitor every detail, we often create friction, both internally through stress and self-doubt, and externally through rigid expectations that clash with the organic flow of circumstances. The moon, in its effortless orbiting, demonstrates a profound surrender to cosmic laws. It doesn't fight its trajectory. Similarly, when you consciously release the need for overt manipulation and allow certain processes to unfold without constant intervention, you remove a significant barrier to their natural flourishing. This deliberate release of control paradoxically empowers the situation, inviting smoother synchronicity and opening pathways that might have remained hidden under the weight of excessive conscious management. It is this art of allowing, of trusting the unseen hand of subtle influences, that ultimately permits prosperity to manifest with grace and ease often unattainable through sheer force of will, growing quietly, profoundly, and assuredly beyond the direct scope of your immediate attention. The enduring presence of moon across epochs, a constant celestial companion, illuminates profound truth about the architecture of lasting prosperity. Its most robust forms are often constructed through patient, unseen efforts, culminating in a legacy that transcends transient gains. Consider how a magnificent, centuries-old cathedral endures not merely because of the visible stonework laid each day, but due to the meticulous, unseen craftsmanship deep within its foundations, the careful curing of mortar, and the seasoned resilience of its timber, all performed away from public gaze. This represents a type of wealth, an enduring structural integrity that develops organically through time and quiet dedication, ensuring a longevity that fleeting, high-profile ventures seldom achieve. Such prosperity, therefore, is less about immediate flashes of success and more about the deep, underlying currents that ensure continuous, sustainable flourishing for generations. Furthermore, the moon's consistent cycles, its dependable return, offer a poignant lesson in the subtle art of pattern recognition, a distinct form of intellectual capital. When you detach from the incessant noise and demands of constant engagement, a different kind of perception sharpens. Imagine a seasoned meteorologist, not just observing today's weather, but discerning long-term climate trends from seemingly minor atmospheric shifts, understanding the deeper forces at play. Similarly, in your own life, the quietude of night fosters an acute sensitivity to the faint signals and emergent patterns in markets, relationships, or personal development that remain invisible to a mind constantly embroiled in immediate reactions. This discerning awareness, cultivated in stillness, becomes a powerful, proactive advantage, enabling you to anticipate shifts and align with advantageous currents long before they become apparent to others. Consequently, by embracing this lunar perspective of subtle, unseen growth, you begin to gently dismantle deeply ingrained scarcity mindsets. The belief that wealth is a finite pie, fiercely guarded and aggressively pursued, often stems from a daylight mentality of overt competition and visible struggle. Conversely, the idea that prosperity can quietly augment itself, much like the slow, steady buildup of mineral deposits creating a geode over millennia, fosters a profound psychological shift. This inner transformation cultivates a sense of intrinsic abundance, a knowing that resources are not limited but constantly renewing, thus freeing you from the energetic drain of anxiety and aggressive striving. It allows for a more relaxed, open disposition, which paradoxically makes you more receptive to opportunities that might otherwise be overlooked when operating from a place of fear or deficiency. Moreover, another crucial layer is the subtle art of energetic calibration that occurs during periods of mental repose. Your internal vibrational state, honed in the quiet hours, acts like a finely tuned instrument, aligning your being with resonant possibilities. Think of a master musician who, through hours of silent practice and deep listening, calibrates their instrument to perfect pitch, making it capable of producing harmonious melodies with seemingly effortless grace. Likewise, when you consciously allow your mind and spirit to settle in a tune, you naturally raise your receptivity to opportunities that resonate with your authentic purpose. This isn't about magical thinking, but about creating an internal environment that is primed to recognize and attract circumstances that are in harmony with your deepest aspirations, enabling a seamless flow of beneficial synchronicity. Building on this, the echo effect of focused, silent intention emerges as a potent force. When intentions are set not with frantic expectation, but with calm clarity during moments of introspection, they create a subtle energetic ripple. This ripple, unhindered by overt attachment to specific outcomes, has a profound capacity to attract and orchestrate circumstances in your favor. It's like dropping a stone into a still pond. The initial splash is small, but the ripples extend silently to the farthest banks, eventually returning in unforeseen ways. The conscious act of releasing the how and allowing the what to manifest in its own time, particularly cultivated in the contemplative quietude of the night, empowers a deeper, more pervasive form of manifestation that transcends direct, linear effort. Ultimately, the paradox of letting go truly underpins this moonlit wisdom. The perceived loss of control, consciously embracing the stillness, paradoxically unlocks a vast realm of unforeseen possibilities. Just as a river flows more powerfully when unconstrained by rigid dams, so too does prosperity surge when you surrender the need for absolute command over every variable. This act of releasing the reins, nurtured during the restful hours, creates a spaciousness for genuine serendipity. It invites solutions and opportunities that your conscious mind might never have conceived, allowing wealth, both material and experiential, to manifest from unexpected quarters, blossoming in its own time, quietly, powerfully, and most profoundly when your watchful eyes are closed. Reflecting on this journey through ancient perceptions and subtle energies, what emerges is not a collection of disparate beliefs, but tapestry woven with a singular, profound insight. We've explored how various cultures, from the intricate civilizations of Mesoamerica to the spiritual depths of the Indian subcontinent and the intuitive wisdom of ancient Europe, all recognize a pervasive, generative force that operates most effectively in the quietude. This isn't merely about the absence of noise. It's about the presence of a different kind of activity, a powerful, underlying current that orchestrates transformation and invites abundance through gentle influence rather than forceful imposition. This orchestration is akin to the vast, invisible network beneath the soil that tirelessly nurtures a forest. While the visible canopy reaches for the sun, the true engine of enduring vitality lies in the unseen roots and fungal webs, steadily absorbing, connecting, and strengthening the entire ecosystem. Similarly, the subtle processes we've touched upon suggest that our own deepest aspirations and practical endeavors thrive within a framework that honors patience and trust in organic unfolding. It's a compelling notion that the most robust and resilient forms of flourishing are not forged solely in the visible glare of our conscious effort, but are profoundly shaped and sustained by an intricate, subterranean work, often performed when our direct attention is purposefully diverted or when we surrender to the restorative rhythms of repose. As these threads converge, we begin to perceive a counterintuitive wisdom that the very act of stepping back, of allowing, can be a potent catalyst for growth rather than a relinquishing control. It reveals how an inner landscape, meticulously cultivated in moments of stillness, can become a magnetic field, attracting opportunities and insights that might remain elusive to a mind perpetually in overdrive. This quiet self-attunement builds an internal reservoir of clarity and resilience, an inner capital that, like a well-charged vessel, navigates the currents of life with greater ease and discernment. It's a profound recalibration of our relationship with success, moving beyond the linear equation of effort equaling outcome and embracing a more expansive, cyclical understanding. What surfaces from these shared narratives is a recognition of growth that operates on principles distinct from the constant vigilance we often impose. It's about the silent compounding of consistent positive intentions, the steady accretion of wisdom, and the quiet strengthening of character, all of which germinate and mature away from the impatient gaze of immediate expectation. This isn't passive resignation, but an active engagement with a deeper intelligence inherent in cycles of expansion and integration. It prepares the ground for a more sustainable, less frantic form of prosperity, one that honors the natural rhythm of life itself, allowing valuable elements to emerge and coalesce at their optimal moment. As we draw towards the conclusion of this meditative exploration, consider how this composite understanding subtly yet powerfully shifts our entire perception of how abundance materializes in our lives. It hints at a pervasive, benevolent energy that continually works on our behalf, weaving opportunities and strengthening foundations, not through direct command, but through gentle, unwavering influence. This perspective invites a profound sense of calm assurance, a quiet knowing that forces far grander than our daily struggles are at play, diligently nurturing our aspirations, ensuring their steady, assured blossoming. It is an invitation to trust in the unseen architects of our future, diligently building, refining, and preparing the way long before their work becomes evident to the conscious eye. As our journey through these moonlit reflections gently concludes, we find ourselves standing at the precipice of a profoundly altered perspective. What has unfolded is not merely a collection of tales, nor a chronological account of ancient beliefs, but rather a compelling invitation to redefine the very essence of how prosperity, in its most expansive forms, manifests in our lives. We have journeyed through an understanding that transcends the incessant, often exhausting, push for visible daylight effort, revealing instead the subtle, pervasive power that operates most potently in the quietude, under the benevolent gaze of the night. The moon, in its silent, unwavering traverse across the sky, has served as a luminous metaphor for this often overlooked dimension of growth. It symbolizes a form of abundance that is not wrested through frantic struggle, but rather nurtured through patience, intuition, and profound trust in the intelligence of natural cycles. Imagine, for a moment, the immense, unseen labor occurring beneath the Earth's surface. The deep root systems tirelessly anchoring towering trees, the microscopic organisms enriching the soil, the intricate network of mycelia facilitating silent communication. This subterranean, unobserved work is a true engine of enduring vitality, ensuring resilience and flourishing that far surpasses the ephemeral gains of superficial exertion. Our narrative has consistently echoed this truth, that the bedrock of sustainable prosperity is often laid and strengthened in the unassuming intervals when our conscious scrutiny is receded. This paradigm shift encourages us to see the quiet hours not as voids of inactivity, but as a fertile crucible where intentions ripen, insights coalesce, and foundational strengths are fortified. It is during these periods of repose that the internal landscape is subtly recalibrated, transforming from a cluttered field of fragmented thoughts into a harmonious garden, primed for magnetic attraction. When we disengage from the anxious need to control every outcome, when we surrender to the inherent wisdom of allowing, we paradoxically open ourselves to a vast spectrum of unforeseen possibilities. This is the subtle art of energetic conservation, where rather than depleting our resources through constant output, we replenish our inner capital, cultivating a calm resilience and a discerning intuition that guides us more effectively than any amount of frenetic striving. The true insight here is a profound liberation that comes from understanding that the most significant harvests often occur when no one is watching. It's a liberation from the ceaseless demand for visible productivity, from pervasive anxiety that whispers we must constantly be doing to be achieving. Instead, it offers a gentle reassurance that life itself is a grand, intelligent system, replete with generative forces that work tirelessly on our behalf, orchestrating synchronicity, ripening opportunities, and strengthening the very foundations of our aspirations. This knowing imbues us with a quiet confidence, a serene certainty that profound growth is indeed occurring steadily and assuredly beneath the surface of our immediate awareness. As you now drift into the quiet embrace of the night, allow this understanding to settle deep within you. Let the gentle luminescence of the moon be a reminder that true wealth, whether material or spiritual, is often cultivated away from the clamor of the world, in the sacred space of rest and reflection. The greatest contributions to your future well-being are not always born of struggle, but frequently blossom from a place of profound trust and serene allowance. The true practice begins now, not in striving, but in the quiet cultivation of this deep, inner knowing. Sleep well, knowing that your prosperity grows silently, beautifully, and powerfully, even when you are not looking.